Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience in the South and our online audience tuning in through iHeartRadio. We're glad you guys could be with us as well. We're excited to welcome recording artist Joylissa to our program to talk to her not only about her musical journey, but what it's been like for her to share that journey with all of you, whether we're talking about 2019's release, Swept Away, or her newest release called Home. Joylissa is able to put a bit of herself into each and every song, and our audience definitely has been appreciating that. We'll talk to her about the musical journey, what it's been like for her to do what she loves, and of course, the inspiration behind the new single. It is available now, so we'll remind you how you can get your own copy of it. But Joylissa, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, the pleasure is definitely all ours. So as I said, you've been able to not only to sing, but also to be able to bring meaning to your music. What has it been like for you, Joylissa, to see the way that your audience has been responding to the music?
I think it's always a little bit scary kind of releasing a new song and seeing, like how people will respond. And because this one's a little bit more of an intimate song now, my new song, Home. And so it's really fun to see how people, like the personal experiences they have, and then they can share it with me. But when I first started writing music, I never really knew how to communicate this deeper side of me. And so in writing, I feel like I had the freedom to do that, through the medium of songwriting. It really allowed me to communicate just the deeper things I was working through. So it's always fun. It's a little bit scary, to be vulnerable.
Right.
But I really enjoy connecting with people in that way.
I'm so glad you said that, because when I was prepping for this segment with you, Joylissa, one of the things I noticed, our partner here at Conversations is Amazon, I should say, for full disclosure, but your music is available everywhere, so our audience can get it not only on Amazon, but the other online retailers as well. And I mentioned the single Swept Away because that one caught my attention, but you also have singles, like I'm Not Yours. And then, of course, you have Home. And these songs are personal, but has it been a pleasant surprise for you that so many people can relate to the music too?
Yeah, I think that's that's kind of the goal with my songwriting. Because when I was young and I just started writing, the songs that always impacted me were the ones that I felt like I could relate to. Because especially just kind of being young and in middle school, high school, I was. You don't really know how to talk to people, you don't know who to talk to, your parents or your friends about these things. So songwriters that really kind of touched my soul made me feel not so alone. So I really hope to kind of be that for, whether someone's young or old, if they feel, you can just feel alone in these types of feelings. So, that's what I hope to do, because that's what's kind of been done for me with the people I look up to.
Yeah. So that brings us to this question then, Joylissa. When did you first realize that music was that thing for you, that was the gift that you had, whether we're talking about the writing aspect or the singing? When did you kind of become kind of clear for you that this is what you were meant to do?
Well, I always grew up loving singing. I was kind of a loud kid, and I like to perform in a way. But I wasn't really planning on pursuing music as a career until about 16. I kind of just had a life shift where I really started taking life a little more seriously. I wasn't really happy with the life I was kind of living before and the road I was going down. And I think that music kind of allowed me to really just start digging deeper into myself and figuring out what really I was supposed to do or made to do, or that type of thing. So that was probably about 16, and then I really just started pursuing it, mostly with my parents helping me out when I was in high school. And then I've even tried at certain points in my life since then to be this is really hard pursuing this. Should I keep going? And every time I think about not doing music, I feel a little part of me dies almost. So, yeah, I think it's just been a journey realizing that I just can't. I was made to create,
Right. And now here you are doing just that. You were literally doing, Joylissa, exactly what so many people just talk about doing. What do you think kind of gave you that extra push? Because, a lot of people, I'm sure you meet them too, will say, oh, I've always wanted to sing, or I've always thought about doing it, but they don't do it. What do you think that made you say, I'm going to do it, and then actually do it?
I think I think honestly kind of just like that journey of being like, okay, this is so like my mom was always like, I wish you wanted to do something a little more easy and straightforward. Like my mom is a nurse. She's like, not that it's easy to be a nurse, but there's kind of like a formula. There's like a path that you follow, to become a nurse. She's like, oh, I wish that you wanted that. I'm like, Mom, I wish I wanted that too. It's just, I think I feel a little bit, I just feel like I would kind of die if I didn't do it. Not like truly, but and so I think once I came to that realization that it's like, there's just nothing, I just couldn't live without this in a sense, because it's so much like knit into like the fiber of who I am. And I think you have to just kind of feel that way almost, because it's not easy. It's very hard, not only like to find success in it, but also having people with their criticisms, and you're putting something out there that you're allowing them to critique, and that's hard too, but I also love it, like being able to, I need to be able to communicate with people that way, because otherwise I don't feel like I can really communicate almost at all, like truly what I'm feeling and who I am and stuff.
Well, I think, it's great for your audience. We're going to get into social media here in a bit to talk about that aspect. I want to say, for those who are just tuning in, though, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome recording artist Joylissa to our program today. We're talking to her not only about her musical journey, but what it's been like for her to do what she loves. She's celebrating a brand new single this month called Simply Home. We're going to get into that a bit as well. I want to ask you a what came first question, because, we always hear the what came first, the chicken or the egg. When people are thinking about these songs you've been releasing, though, I'm curious. I mean, it definitely, you can see the confidence in yourself, but also the growth. What do you think came first for you? Do you think it was the personal growth that then got into the music, or do you think the music kind of aided you in that growth?
I think it's definitely, it's like they kind of build each other in a sense. When I first started writing, I would try to mostly just write about like relationships or breakup stuff, because kind of being like 15, 16, I was like, oh, this is what's cool. This is all I really kind of like know at this point how to talk about that I feel like is very deep, And then as I kind of like what home is, it's like, it's kind of about like family and like feeling like you kind of lost your childhood, but also being very grateful for it, and kind of just, like the struggle of kind of moving through life and looking back and just knowing that's in the past, just different things, in my relationship with my family and like my relationship with myself. So, I mean, I think it's, I've just grown as an artist. But I think also, I had to figure out like which parts of me were like the core of who I am as an artist. Like I've had many people kind of be like, you need to be more like this, you need like this kind of artist is the kind of stuff that really sells or whatever. Right. And there's like always some of that advice is really, really good, but sometimes they just don't like who you are as an artist. And I kind of had to figure out like what really makes me me, and what like can I not really change, because then I would stop being like an authentic person and artist. So I think just kind of like it's just been a refinement thing of really figuring out the core of who I am, what I hold on to, and what I like really want to grow in and change, And
I love that you share that. I appreciate it. And I think there's so many people that can relate to that as well. So I mentioned social media. I mean, that's one of the ways, of course, people have been able to stay connected with you. Of course, we're going to let our audience know how they can do that. But also, I mean, I've seen in the comments how people have been kind of rooting for you and even, talking about how you've been an inspiration. How does that feel for you to have built this audience and to be able to see the way that people are not just enjoying the music, but also proud of you and what you're doing?
I mean, it means everything. I don't think I could do it if I wouldn't be able to keep going if I didn't know that my art was making an impact, and that I was connecting with people and having those people kind of like in my corner being like, hey, what you're doing like matters to me,
Right.
So yeah, I think it's invaluable, really,
Appreciation is something that definitely continues to come through. You've been able to do this even though we've dealt with the challenges of this year. This has not been the easiest year. I definitely have found, though, that music has been, one of the things that have helped me along the way. Do you also find yourself finding inspiration and being able to find that hope even in music too? Yeah,
definitely. I think, when a lot of things are kind of taken away, like, with what's kind of gone on this year. You kind of figure out like what really kind of gives meaning to your life, and you kind of search within yourself and which relationships, you know, are really beneficial and whatever, you know, all those things. And music has always been just like kind of the way that I've worked through that and figured those things out, whether I'm listening to a song and that song helps me realize something within myself, or I'm writing a song and I realize something within myself. So yeah, I mean, music is so powerful. Like there's a quote, I don't remember who says it, but it's something like, there's some things that can't be simply said, they have to be sung. And I just am like, yes, you know, that's so true. So music has like this power that, you know, you can't quite put your finger on, but yeah.
Right. Well, it definitely is something that you've been able to do quite well. Again, everyone, recording artist Joylissa has been our guest for this segment. We've been talking with her not only about the musical journey that she's been on, but what's been like for her to share that with all of you. Her newest single is called Home. We got it through our friends at Amazon.com. You can get it through your favorite online retailer, no matter what it might be, and make sure you guys let Joylissa know how you feel about the music, how it makes you feel. Joylissa, how can our audience stay connected with you?
Mostly through Instagram, I would say. My name on there is Joylissa Music. So, yeah, I'd love to connect with everyone on there.
All right. Well, congratulations to you again on the new single and the great journey, and looking forward to having you back on the program again.
Thank you so much, Cyrus. This has been a lot of fun.
Well, look, I like to hear that. I appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed it as well. I did, too. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's make today amazing. Take care.